So let's talk about a massive shift happening in the workplace right now. How artificial intelligence is completely changing the way we think about employee engagement. And to really get our heads around just how big this is, we've got to start with a number. A truly mind-boggling number. There it is, $8.9 trillion. So what is that? Well, according to global research, that is the annual cost of lost productivity just because people are not engaged with their jobs. We're talking about 9% of the entire global GDP. This isn't just some HR metric, it's a colossal economic problem.
And behind that huge number, well, there's a human story. It turns out that worldwide, only about 23% of us feel genuinely engaged at work. A tiny fraction. The huge majority, 62%, are just not engaged. You've probably heard the term quiet quitting, right? That's them. And then you got this other 15% who are actively disengaged, meaning they might actually be working against their own company. That is just an unbelievable amount of wasted human potential.
So yeah, that brings us right to it, the $8.9 trillion problem. Before we can solve it, we really need to understand what it is we're even trying to measure. I mean, what does engagement even mean?
Okay, check out the key phrase here, emotional investment. This is so much more than just being happy or satisfied with your job. Engagement is that deep personal connection. It's what makes you want to go that extra mile, not because you have to, but because you actually care. But how on earth do you measure a feeling? That's where it gets tricky.
And this is why the old way of doing things is just fundamentally broken. You know what I'm talking about, the annual survey. Think about it. By the time the results are in and analyzed, the workplace has already changed. It's old news. So leaders end up reacting to problems that have been quietly brewing for months and months.
So you have all these leaders who are essentially flying blind, trying to manage the morale of their teams with a map that's completely out of date. But here's the good news. That map is being redrawn in real time by AI.
And this slide really gets to the heart of it. We are moving from these static, once-a-year snapshots to a living, breathing, real-time pulse of the organization. Instead of just looking at lagging indicators like turnover, which basically just tell you about a fire after the house is already burned down, AI gives us predictive analytics. It's a total shift from being reactive to being proactive.
I mean, the old methods are just failing left and right. They're way too slow. A lot of the time, employees are scared to be totally honest for fear of blowback. And even when they are, leaders get swamped with thousands of comments and have no real way to make sense of it all. It's just data overload.
Okay, but now there's a new tool in the toolbox. AI gives us a way to slice through all that noise and find the real signal. It's not just about looking in the rearview mirror. It's about seeing what's coming up on the road ahead.
You can almost think of AI as having these three amazing superpowers. First, it gives you that live pulse on the company. Second, it uses something called sentiment analysis to instantly read the emotion behind thousands of comments. And third, and this is the real game changer, it uses predictive analytics to spot trouble before it starts.
It's kind of like giving every leader their own personal crystal ball. Seriously, imagine being able to see the early signs of burnout on a critical team, or knowing that one department is starting to feel disconnected. AI can spot those subtle patterns, giving managers the chance to step in and help before it's too late.
And if you think this sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, it's not. It's happening right now. At IBM, for example, they built an AI that can predict which employees are likely to quit their jobs with 95% accuracy.
And here's the bottom line, the so what of it all. That incredible accuracy translated into an estimated $300 million in savings for IBM, all because they could step in and re-engage valuable people before they walked out the door. The business case is just undeniable.
Okay, so this all sounds amazing, right? But this incredible power immediately brings up a really critical, really uncomfortable question. The second you start analyzing employee data like this, you have to ask, wait a minute, is someone always watching?
And this leads us straight into the most important part of this whole conversation, the big brother question. We absolutely have to tackle the ethics of this technology head on.
The risks here are very real. We've got data privacy issues. There's the danger of over-monitoring, which can just destroy trust. There's the potential for hidden biases in the algorithms themselves. And above all, you have to be transparent with your employees about how these tools are being used. You just have to.
So how do we get all the amazing benefits without falling into these traps? Well, the answer isn't to just throw out the technology. It's about using it wisely, It's about combining artificial intelligence with good old-fashioned human intelligence.
And this, right here, this is the main takeaway. The whole point of this technology is to augment human leaders, not to replace them. AI is great at finding the patterns in the data, but it's a human manager who provides the empathy, has a real conversation, and builds trust with their team.
So in practice, what you get is this amazing virtuous cycle. You use AI to constantly measure and find insights. Then, a human leader takes that insight and does something meaningful with it. And then, this part is crucial, they communicate what they've done back to their team. That builds trust, which in turn leads to even more honest feedback, and the cycle repeats.
Because, when it's all said and done, the true value here isn't in the fancy charts or the data points. It's in the potential to elevate people. It's about creating workplaces where leaders can finally, truly listen at scale. And the real question is, once they start hearing what their people are really saying, are they ready to act?